Welcome to Disrespectfully Agree with Oatman and LJ. I'm LJ. Across from me, Mr. Oatman.
Peace to the planet, everybody. What's good?
And Rezi was still in the building, so we had him sit down at the mic. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me get back again. I love it here.
This episode, we will talk about Mute from director Duncan Jones. He brought us such films as Moon. Oatman, not a fan.
Phenomenal film.
Of Moon?
Oatman just
You
doesn't,
with us?
He doesn't know. He just doesn't.
That's my impression of being a mute.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You
Fell asleep on Moon.
All right.
Fell asleep. I think I was laying on my wife's belly. It always puts me to sleep. I want to give you that visual.
Next film, Source Code, a mixed bag for me. Oatman.
I could have had a V8.
Son of a
Yeah, I
bitch.
can sit and watch it and just say, okay.
And then there's World of Warcraft.
Mad as hell. I spent money on that.
It may be up there with Schindler's List.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know which I like better.
Both are about atrocities.
Schindler's List. Yeah.
Both are about utter atrocities.
Is it too soon?
Yeah, maybe a touch too soon.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it was awful. A great example of a film in which it cannot be deciphered or cannot be distanced from its source material. If you haven't seen the game, I defy you to understand what the hell is going on.
Geez, gentlemen, damn. I mean, at least you guys only lost time of your life. I lost time and money.
To be fair, I have not seen the movie World of Warcraft. It brings us to this film, Mute, starring such actors as Alexander Skarsgård and Paul Rudd. Mike.
P. Rudd. That's what we call him in the hood.
This film...
Has he ever been to the hood, Mike?
Man's a killer.
He's probably been in neighborhoods. Does that count?
Yeah.
Open, where are you at on this film?
Really, really, really like the beginning. And it's the kind of a beginning that I would typically dislike.
Explain what you mean by what part. What are we talking about here?
Where they basically show us this gentleman who's Amish, something like that.
Raised Amish, anyway.
Yeah, raised Amish, and he sort of has a love affair with this club girl who has kind of a shady past.
Takes place in Germany.
Takes place in Germany in the future in a very sort of multinational sort of society. It's a little bit of a dystopian kind of future, but I really bought the love story. I really liked it. I think they picked a really good actor to play the character who's mute, because he can tell so many stories just with that face and those eyes. God, I know that sounds creepy, me saying it, but I just thought he was excellent in those quiet moments.
I agree, his eyes are creepy.
I thought he was excellent in those quiet moments, and I actually bought the romance. I thought it was very sweet.
Which was 20 minutes of the
The
film.
better part, yeah.
That's over
Very quickly.
pretty quickly. Rezi, where are you at on this?
The film for me didn't wake up until actually Paul Rudd showed up. He and Justin Theroux's character.
Well, to be fair, he's in the movie right at the beginning.
Yeah, he's at the very beginning.
He's in the club.
Yeah, he's in the club sitting at the table.
Yeah, but that's
with
like
that
what?
really awful porn stash.
Yeah,
they
but we
put
get
him
to
on.
know. We get to know the.
That's a porn stash that's been going for. It's been multiplying for several generations. That's way beyond a porn stash, sir.
No, but I mean, we're introduced to this guy who, as you said, is mute, his girlfriend, and we stay with them for a few minutes until we get to the club scene. Because honestly, I thought they were going to do a little bit more with Noel Clarke, and I'm a big fan of his. But and his guy was loud, rambunctious. I thought they were going to do something with him. They did come back to it, but not in the way I thought they would. They really stayed with the Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux thing.
Most characters in this film are there. Because they're just parts of the.
Yeah,
we
they're
need these characters here for the
they're devices.
story plot devices.
Yeah, they're literary devices. Yeah. Rarely do characters in here rise to the level of unique, interesting characters. There's really only one that jumps out other than the mute, and I like the girlfriend, but the Paul Rudd's friend, collaborator. That was a disturbing yet fascinating.
The pedophile, the Theroux part. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say. Spoiler.
Hey, you remember? Hey, he remembered.
Spoiler alert for this film, Mute. We will spoil various aspects of it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the pedophile guy. I thought that was a fascinating depiction. Interesting.
Well, their relationship, certainly we have an abusive relationship here. It's the man, Paul Rudd is abusive. He's that abusive caricature, well, maybe not caricature, but certainly an archetype. You could go caricature, perhaps.
Yeah. No, that was really
the
Paul
guy,
Rudd.
you know, I hit you because I love you, and now that I've hurt you, I'm going to try and make it better, kind of thing. It's a very abusive relationship between those two. As
the film progresses, it's their relationship that I think sort of provides the best scene in the movie, the most memorable. It's one that I'll actually remember from a fairly, pedestrian film overall. But that scene where Skarsgård stabs him through the throat. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He's laying down and he's looking at the monitor of his pedophile buddy going for his daughter. That, oh my God, the stakes.
I was very concerned that the movie was going to end there.
Oh, that was such a disturbing scene. And just really like,
beautifully played, though. I mean,
it was very well played. And they ended up taking it away I didn't expect.
Yeah.
But
that character is probably the most interesting, most complex.
Yeah.
Because he is such a disgusting, horrible dude who's also in love with a disgusting, horrible dude, but Paul Rudd. Yeah. But Paul Rudd is also, and Paul Rudd is a monster, but he's also right half the time, but he's also he's a murderer. He's abusive. He's a terrible individual for so many reasons.
Not a bad dad.
And a bad dad. And bad, or are you saying not bad?
I mean, other than he keeps pedophiles around his daughter. But I mean, if we remove that.
Now, there's the thing where he seems surprised at this revelation about this guy. Are we to really believe that he was taken aback, that he didn't know? I mean, we've been with this guy for an hour, and we're already well aware that this guy is a pedophile.
Yeah.
And Paul Rudd's surprised.
In the doctor's office, wasn't it, when he saw the
well, that's when he finally figured it out, but all of us are like, yeah, Paul.
Clearly a pedophile.
No kidding.
He's wearing a T-shirt that says pedophile.
Yeah, you should have known. He had to make that shirt. You can't buy those at any store. But that character is incredibly complicated because of that relationship and how he feels about it.
Yeah.
It is abusive. He does hate this guy, but love him. He does want revenge. He does let him die. I mean, maybe there's nothing he could have done.
Yeah.
But now, what do you think his purpose was? I mean, was it out of character for him to help Skarsgård's character gain his voice back? Or
there's where, okay, let's get to it.
I have no clue what that was.
Here's what that was.
Okay.
Bullshit.
I had no clue what that was.
It's bullshit. Rezi, before we started, you were talking about why does this take place in the future?
Wait, one second. Let me write that down.
Okay.
Bullshit.
That's what it is.
Got it.
It doesn't need to take place. The only reason I was kept waiting for why is this a sci-fi movie?
Yeah.
And it's not until that moment where he replaces his voice box with an artificial one does it become, oh, well, that's why it's in the future, because that, I guess. And so all the other trappings that don't really matter, don't mean anything, are there just so we can get to this point, which also doesn't matter. Yeah. The bad guy wants him to say something, like apologize or say whatever.
Yeah, he wants him to.
Which means, I guess, he's crazy. He wants this thing to happen, so he does the surgery, and for whatever reason. It's just supposed to be beautiful or nice that we finally get to hear this guy speak to protect this girl or whatever.
Awful.
And it is bullshit. It is. Okay. That's why it's in the future. That's why that happens. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense.
I would have rather them ended on the pedophile moment.
I would have rather been just about the pedophile. Like you said, he's an interesting character.
We're going to take that clip out of context.
So let me.
We're going to get into.
So let me hear this.
I want this movie to be about the pedophile.
Let me put this down. More pedophile.
That's what I heard. That's what
like more cowbell. More pedophile.
That's what I heard.
Oh God.
Man, I really like this movie. If only it had pedophiles in it.
Oh God, who are all those cops? That's for me? Oh no.
This is a good Marvel movie, but I mean, we couldn't slip in one pedophile?
These mics are on. I don't know if you're aware. We're recording.
No, but no, like you said, he was an interesting character to just follow. I would have loved to seen them do not so much go into his life, but just kind of keep it around him and how maybe he slowly gets caught, the little mistakes that he does. We really didn't need Skarsgård. It was a nice beginning, but they didn't really do much with
the Skarsgård storyline is a guy who's just kind of stabbing in the dark, just
kind of walking around with wooden headboard posts.
Well, no, that's well before that. But that's the movie's better there. It's most of it is him like, all right, well, I'll go to this address. Maybe something's there. Oh, nothing's here. Well, what's another place I could look? He's the worst detective.
Yeah, I mean, they look like they just had fun sending him to. Oh, I'm sending him here now. Oh, we're gonna play with him and send him here now. And
I agree. It just it has a really promising start and just loses its way. It's like, oh, okay, I guess. Oh, he's going to another place and getting no results. Okay, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, most of the film is pointless. The Skarsgård character, his journey is no journey. He's just
a guy who happens to be there.
This is the ultimate problem. Not the ultimate. The biggest issue I have with the film is that the relationship we like. And we're supposed to like it between Skarsgård and his love interest there. That's the story we want. And she's just effectively turned into a MacGuffin, a prop, which is, of course, not new for films or stories. And they even make a joke. There's the old trope Gail Simone, comic book writer, mentions, happens all the time with fridging
women in refrigerators.
Women in refrigerator. Yeah. And this literally has that moment where he goes to the freezer, and that's where we think she's going to be. But of course, nope, she's not there. Oh, she's next to it. You son of a unbelievable
bitch.
You son. I can't believe you. No, we didn't fridge the girl. Oh, what? Well, we kind of. She's next to fridge the girl. No,
but they at least kept her hair blue. I mean, she was cold.
Boo, boo. You're out of here.
Yeah, I just remember when he's in that water and he screams up to the girl. I literally that's so.
It was forced as well because you think like he seems instantly concerned that she's dumb enough.
Yeah, like she's going
to just fall in the water. Like this is going to save her life. Don't fall off the bridge. Oh, don't fall. Oh, thank you, sir.
What was that voice?
Thank God you have a voice.
The vocoder device. It kind of sounded like a Cylon. Stay back. Just come close.
I did not understand how gravity worked until just now. Thank you, sir. Thank goodness you have a voice. I'm an idiot.
Now. Thank you.
I didn't understand hand signal of step back either. That's foreign to me. But all that said, this is where I'm disgusting, as I still got teary-eyed at the end.
What do you mean you got teary-eyed?
The moment where he sees the bracelet that the girl's wearing of all the little wooden things that he made.
And then he hands her
another one. He gives her another one.
Hands her another one.
He hands her a ball.
It was touching.
What was it? And of the
grown man handing a child a ball.
A seahorse, a carved seahorse on a charm bracelet thing.
Was that really touching?
Yeah. Possibly to take her to her grandmother.
That's where he was taking her. Yeah, to her grandmother.
Oh, stop it!
What?
There's nothing touching about that.
Look, you were the one who's telling me my heart is cold and empty. It touched me a little. I felt a little something. All right,
stop it.
It was a little touching. What about? So we don't like it?
No.
Oatman.
Not only do I not like it, I don't respect it.
Wow.
I've had certain films that I don't like, but I do respect. I respect that they're trying to do something ambitious and this thing tries to take shortcuts. And it tries to manipulate, not through storytelling, but through cheap tricks.
Emotional tricks, yeah.
Yeah, and so I didn't like that. And like you said, the only reason that this is set in the future is for that scene where for no effing reason, he has to put a voice box in this guy.
Okay. That's exactly it.
Put him in a van and a Jeep and they're driving and... Man, get out of here.
To be fair, and also the setup of the breathing, holding his breath, and the drink of the water.
Yeah, my God. This thing is almost bad enough to be a Lifetime movie. My goodness.
Yeah, you listening, Stephanie? A Lifetime movie.
But to be fair, yeah, I was touched at the end, but I will admit it's a cheap. Look, I was. Look, I'm not allowed. I'm allowed to have a human moment, but I will admit it was.
That touches you.
I will admit it was cheap. Look, sometimes
as harsh as you are with every movie, that stupid scene in this stupid movie, that's what touches you.
Even insurance commercials can be a little emotional.
Yeah, that Geico lizard makes me cry.
Oh my goodness.
Credit card commercials, these people coming together and
I
expressing
guess.
a genuine love and appreciation and affection
For
for one
Visa
another.
and MasterCard.
Well, I went untouched
No.
at the end of this film. I was not
But I
touched.
will admit they're cheap. It's a cheap ploy, cheap trick. Sometimes it works. Not on you guys because you're cold as ice.
because we're dead inside.
Well, I'll put it like this. If you want a better movie about mutes people, try and look for
I don't
some,
think that's the issue.
Well, but still, but if you want to see a mute-like movie.
I was just saying like that. How
There
come
is
we
a-
don't got a good mute movie?
Well, we got Miss 45 if you want to see something with a little bit of action. And then a better one is one that came out like mid-90s
Piano?
called Silent Witness. Was a pretty good little movie that came
It's
out
got such
Russia.
a
I think it
clever
was
name. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah, it was cute. I kind of like that one. That was one of the better movies with people showing that they can actually act without having to say something, expressive through face, eyes, that kind of acting.
That's that's not the issue. I mean, Children of a Lesser God, obviously another classic
Wonderful
example
film.
of that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But what I did and did not appreciate about this film is, unfortunately, the few instances where they alluded to a much better movie. Because did you guys notice the references to Moon in this? Obviously, there's lunar energy all over the place, but we actually see...
I did see people in it sleeping. So that,
yeah.
so that reminded me. There's that scene where they're knocked out and sleeping.
No, but there were several moments where there were bits of news footage with a character played by Sam Rockwell from Moon at various times was in this. It was the same character from Moon.
Having come back from that the whole
after
thing,
the events
it
of
all
Moon,
happened, yeah.
He's there, and I just kept thinking, boy, wouldn't this be better if I were watching Moon? Oh, what a great film. What happened to Duncan Jones?
Okay, so LJ, what did you like about the film? Or what did you see in there? That
I told you.
appreciated? Just
we're
that
done.
or nothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Oh, and then the touching ending.
That's the only
melted
thing.
your cold heart.
Yeah.
I like Skarsgård. I thought he was good. Well, what he had is, I think he didn't. He was not well served by the script, and I thought that Paul Rudd was very broad.
Yeah.
They played him really broad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bold choice. And
Yeah, definitely. It was strong, very strong choices. It
just didn't work out.
Yeah, and plus it was just a world ultimately I didn't want to be in. I didn't want to live in this world. It was just
Absolutely
very
not,
ugly.
for sure, yeah.
It's an ugly world.
But I think that's where we are now with science fiction. And everyone's trying to chase Blade Runner, and that's what Blade Runner was as well. This movie is definitely trying to play on those tropes to much less success.
We got to start stealing better stuff.
Oh, no Blade Runner for you?
They start with really?
I liked Blade Runner. I thought Blade Runner was decent. I just think it was overrated.
I agree.
Good film, but
What, the 2049, or we're talking about the original Blade Runner?
2049, that's a
Original.
different story. But yeah, the original.
Okay.
Which I thought was a good film. I thought it was a good film, but
Did you ever read
all-time
Dick's book?
film,
Did you ever read the book?
I try not to read books.
It's a short story, not really a
sure.
book.
Oh, yeah.
The book. I mean, the TV is right there. Like it's right there. The VCR is right there.
My first viewing of Blade Runner was the director's cut, which was visually stunning, but I thought was actually kind of bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't until years later I watched the theatrical. It was hard to find a theatrical version of it. I had to track down a VHS, and that had all the narration, which made it much more of what I thought it was trying to be, which is a film noir detective movie. So you get your detective voiceover, which people say they hate. It's what made the movie finally make sense for me.
Really?
The narration.
Isn't the one with the narration, isn't it the one that gives you that phony Sean Young driving away ending?
I'm not talking about the ending.
Okay.
Forget the ending. The ending in the director's cut and then this final cut are neither here nor there. All of them don't work for me. None of them do.
Wow, okay.
But what does work is if this movie is a detective film noir movie, make a detective film noir movie. The director's cut removed all that stuff, so you're not really sure what's going on, and the tone is gone. So now we just have these long, ponderous shots of cityscapes and people just looking around and nothing's happening, where there was narration. You're like, oh, okay, I see what this movie is. This is a detective, hard-boiled movie, film noir. It was
Also
awesome.
make the argument it was before Harrison Ford learned to act.
Oh, how dare you.
Well, no, the only reason I even brought that up with you saying that you like the one with the narration because it was Siskel and Ebert praise the director's cut so much.
Of
they
course.
love the director's cut. And
Everybody
it just made
does.
me want to see it. I never saw the director's cut except for that ending. I seen that on YouTube, so I can't really sit and tell you how it played out and how I felt. But I'm familiar with the one with the narration. As
It's
you
a
said,
superior
it's just
film.
something I fell asleep on. Yeah.
Superior film. I'm not saying it's great, but it makes the film much more enjoyable.
Okay.
Only pretentious a-holes like the other one. And I say that as a pretentious a-hole, so I know what I'm talking about. I guess we have nothing else to say about Mute.
Yeah, we're done with except to say go see Moon. You should see Moon.
Absolutely.
Is it on
Absolutely.
Netflix?
See Moon. No, but I do
no
have
idea.
it on. I think I gave it to Stephanie. I think she may have it on Vudu.
Okay,
So
I
you
might
might want to
check it
check her
out.
Vudu. Yeah.
Moon's great. All right. With that, we'll talk at you next time. Bye.
Peace and chicken grease.
In any case.
Who loves women like Oatman?
Yeah.
And Oatman loves the kids too. I just want to get that out there.
Oh, and I was saying more. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I'll stay out of that.
Well, you love pedophiles. I love
No,
kids.
I didn't say I love that. I said, let's see. Oh God,
You're on the wrong
I'm just-
side of
yeah,
history
I'm
on
on
this
the
one.
wrong side of this. Yeah.